To lead other people successfully, first you have to be able to lead yourself. And after working with thousands of directors, VPs, and executives, in this video, I'm gonna provide you some tactics and strategies on how to lead yourself more effectively and the key concepts surrounding this so that you can make success easy for your team. As a leader, each year, you need to continue to learn new skills, continue that professional development so you can be the best leader you can, so you can make that large impact in corporate America. And if you're committed to growth, if you're committed to being a better leader, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button and let's get started. First, I want to start off with the story. And this story is plan to fail if you fail to plan. When I was deployed in the military during the start of the war in Iraq in 2003, what happened was we got attacked one time and we were unprepared. We have these things called mobilization, like practice, right? So for months we're training up before we get deployed. We're talking about reacting to contact. Contact meaning, hey, if your team is ever fired upon, do this. If this happens, do that. So we're planning all this. But what happened on one night, 4th of July, we never had a plan for it. What happened that night was we were in the middle of the desert, of course, right? And it was 4th of July at midnight. And what we heard was a and if you don't know what that sound is, that's mortar fire. So maybe, again, Alex can put up a little mortar tube for me. So it's this little tube that they put, a missile in. It shoots up in the air, kind of like you hear it like a really loud firework, and then it smashes into the ground and obviously has a kill radius of almost 200 meters. So what happened one night, we never practiced. We never planned for mortar fire. So what happens is we hear boom, and we're sitting around like, what's going on? And then there's explosions happening on the base. Very, very scary when something's happening that you haven't prepared for and you don't have a plan for. So what happens? It's mayhem, right? No one knows what to do. We're in the middle of the desert. Do we run to the building? Do we grab our gear? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Right? This is what happens if you fail to plan for things that could arise in business with your team. Constant mayhem, miscommunication, leadership's confused. So my first rule for yourself is you need to plan for success every single day. Otherwise, you're gonna fail. If you don't have a plan to get better every day, you're gonna fail. So you need to figure out, how can I get better every day? What am I probably going to encounter forecasting in the future? And how can I plan for that as well? You need to do this for yourself in your life and in your business. You need consistent, structured plans. Otherwise, there's gonna be mayhem. Number 2, you need personal accountability. Most of the time, a lot of the leaders that I've worked with before they went through maybe our leadership program is they would bring up all these excuses all the time on why their team didn't hit the target, why they were having people problems, why they were insert problem here. And they would just talk about all of the reasons why something would happen. But the only reason something happens is because of the leader. Let that sink in for a second. The leader of the department controls the culture, the people, all of these things. But most of the time, they don't have personal accountability, so they just blame everybody. And we know we don't like those type of leaders. So hey, how can we have personal responsibility? If something happens in your life or in your business or in your business unit, it is your fault. The good news is this, are you ready? If it's your fault, you're the solution. Make sense? Okay, if it's someone else's fault, there is no solution besides to get them out of the business unit or your life. So you have to instill a high level of accountability in your life. Here's the thing too, there's something my mentor taught me called all or nothing principles. You can't be extremely structured in your business and not have it in your life. You can't have a high level of responsibility and accountability in your business and not have it in your life. These are called all or nothing practices. Either you have it or you don't. Okay? So if you're trying to develop personal accountability, start saying, hey, I am responsible for this. I am responsible for my business unit. I'm responsible if they win, if they kick butt, if they break awards, or if they fail, and a reduction in force happens. So number 2, when we're talking about how we can lead ourselves better so that we can be an effective leader for our team, you need personal accountability. Without personal accountability, you're not gonna get anything done and you're consistently gonna be doing the blame game. Plus, it's so easy to have a conversation. Watch this. Hey, leader walks up to me, CEO walks up to me, Tim, the numbers are down by 20%. What happened? Bob, I failed you. I wasn't hard on my team. I didn't track my metrics enough. We thought we were gonna get some key accounts, but we didn't. And this happened, but I accept full responsibility. Here's my detailed plan so it won't happen again. Hey, do you have any guidance for me so that we can ensure we hit our numbers next quarter? What do you think he's gonna say? See how that worked? Hey, I know what happened. I made some bad decisions. Here's my plan to rectify them so that we can win as a business. If you go to the CEO, like I have seen some people do, and say, well, this happened, this happened, this happened, I don't wanna work with you, man. Neither does that person. That's how you accept personal accountability. You have to do that. Otherwise, you're never gonna be able to lead large teams. You need a positive mindset. Without this, you can't do anything in life. And you definitely can't lead a team. Have you ever been around people and you're like, man, they're so negative, they're so negative. You're the leader of the department. There's things, I'll go over this in another video, right? So they're called belief lids. What is your belief lid? What is possible? Are you instilling that into your team? Probably not. Are you speaking positive words and affirmations over them all the time? Like, hey, I believe in you. I believe we can do this. I know we can do this. Hey, I know we lost this key account, but we probably just had to learn this lesson so that it never happens again, and now we can continue to win. How are you interacting with your team? Do you display a positive mindset? Because most leaders wonder why their team's negative, and their team talks back to them, and their team doesn't have good communication, and their team doesn't have this. Why do you think that is? You know what's crazy? Into the positive mindset and the personal accountability, I want to tell another story. I remember my first job out of the military, I was an ops leader for a large recruitment area. And we had manager meetings every single Friday. And on these manager meetings, I had to listen to all of the managers of these different large locations complain about their people, how they wouldn't listen to their people, right? And how their people were negative. You know the funny thing? Well, maybe not funny thing. I didn't have any of those problems at my location because I held people accountable and I spoke positive words over them and lifted them up. So what do you know? I didn't have attendance problems. I didn't have these things that normal people deal with. That's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, to show you these things are so powerful. Accepting personal responsibility, having that positive mindset, and having a plan as you go into the day or the quarter. These concepts may seem simple to you right now. The problem is they're so hard to execute for so many people. Why is that? Leadership isn't as hard as people make it out to be. They typically just don't use a structured process for the many different areas and never learn near self-mastery of themselves in some of these topics and more, and then they wonder why they have all these problems. The last thing you need to do, you need to learn from your failures. You are going to fail. You are going to lose the big client. You are going to service the client and then lose them. And someone's going to refund, and you're going to have manufacturing problems, and you're going to get sued by the FTC, the SEC. Welcome to business, baby. It's going to happen. Okay, EEOC, right? There's a lot of 3- and 4-letter words that over the course of your corporate career, you are going to be investigated on. It's going to happen, and you're going to continually fail as well. So these challenges are going to happen in business. But just a couple days ago, I remember me and Alex were recording a couple videos, and I was on like take 50, right? So I'm like, blah, blah, I'm tongue-tied, right? I'm frustrated too. And I was like, man, it's been like 50 attempts and I haven't got it right. Well, at the time, it's funny, you know, I exaggerated 50. I said it was on like attempt 2, right? So I go into Christina's office and I was like, oh, I'm frustrated right now. And she's like, why is that? And I was like, I can't get this video right. She's like, how many times have you tried? I said 2. She was like, oh, you're only on your 2nd attempt? That's it? When most people think this, man, I tried once and I failed. Think about this. Failure is the only way you can learn something. Trying to use a new CRM, you're about to mess up a whole bunch of stuff. It's okay. Trying to ride a bike, you're gonna fall down. Trying to get in shape when you haven't been in shape for a long time, it's gonna be mentally difficult for you to pass through those barriers. So just remember, the only way that you can learn is from mistakes. So remember, when you're leading yourself, you need to have a high level of accountability, but you also have to know, hey, I'm not gonna master everything on the first attempt. It may take me several attempts. What's the key takeaway here? It's getting better. So when you go to your team and you're trying to lead your team effectively, expect them to make mistakes. But remember, what can you learn from it so you don't make the same mistakes again, so you can actually keep moving forward on this continual learning and optimization journey? Look, there's many things you need to know to be a successful leader, but the first concepts that you need to learn in this video and more is how do I manage this? How do I fully optimize Tim Madden? Because if I can't fully optimize Tim Madden, how am I going to try to optimize 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, 5,000 people. It's nearly impossible. So hey, if you're looking to be a better leader and maybe moving up the corporate ladder, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button below, and I'll see you in one of the next videos.